Okay, my fob, I have failed you. Today you've almost become my fob because of that. I've not really missed a day since the beginning of starting this at Memorial Day last year. So I do apologize my tardiness, and I'll try not to mash words. You still matter. I'm still glad you're here, alive, to read this in the captions, or to hear me saying it. But thank you for living another Sunday, another Monday. Thank you for living at all, honestly. How do we know the way to go if there's no one willing to lead? I'm not much and I know it. If any think me worth listening to, I can only be grateful for the chance to help. You matter. More than you know, more than you're willing to realize, mayhap. But you matter. Drastically. Importantly. Indubitably. Goodness, I should not have watched. I'm watching Harry Potter, but I shouldn't have watched James Bond last night. Because the one I watched, the episode, was Her Majesty's Secret Service, I believe. With the James Bond that came right after. Sean Connery, rather. And the movie was good, and the ending frightfully realistic. Because even when the good guys win, there's always casualties. There's always casualties, and it just reminded me how much more important it is that we do fight to end the evils. That we do leave none alive of the evil kind. Because they procreate. If they do not procreate their genetic code, they procreate their beliefs. Muslims cannot help but be against the world, because otherwise they have to admit that they themselves are wrong. And they won't. Not a true Muslim. Not one who truly believes. My own aesthetic, rather modern of the warrior way. For all I was raised by the Nom mentality, is what I call it. My father missed Vietnam by 1 month's difference of graduation boot camp. But he was trained by the Vietnam veterans who made it through, and he was trained to be a scout. I'm still putting together how much of me is him and how much my brother. But he was teaching my brother first, and all those games my brother taught me, and other games that we made up along the same strain. Lots of escaping to gather again. Do you know how important that is? To pass on the skills that you have, that you might think nothing much of, and yet someone else can use it to live their life fully, to achieve with what alacrity they're able to gain. I'm only as strong as I am for the strength I have seen on the daily, either from God, my parents, no matter their failings, and my father might have been up on a realistic pedestal. I knew he was failing, but he never gave up. I knew my mum was failing, but she was too full of fear. She still is. But Dad got her into archery. And she's continued, and it's good for her. Things that work with the mind on an instinctive level are more useful than you know. I had my first pass out, my first fainting in almost 10 years. The last time it was that I did. It was after a weekend of basically field daying an entire house, top to bottom, myself, with a toddler and myself pregnant and my ex. He did nothing. Neither here nor there, but I'd gone a weekend, Saturday and Sunday, without food. On Friday, only a slice of pizza for dinner. I don't remember lunch or breakfast, but I know I had to have eaten. I was always drinking tea in the fob, keeping myself awake. And I call it a fob because it's just where I worked, and to me, anywhere I feel safe-ish enough, especially surrounded by military types. But I passed out when they gave me, I don't know. I think he gave me a shot. And then I was supposed to look. And I told him I was looking at him because I was looking right at him. Apparently, that meant to look at their eyes, not their chin. Because if he'd have told me to look at his eyes, I would have. But I probably would have kept going back because, well, chain of events being what they are. Next thing I know, I'm staring at the ceiling. And he had only, in his words, poked his head out to call for someone to come help him. And then he had to catch me. And I had never fainted before in my life. I fainted then. I got better, obviously, and it was blood sugar because I hadn't eaten. Well, if I knew then what I know now. Anyways, they were goods, the medics at the BAS. Bless them. Bless them, love them, and keep them all, for keeping us all alive, even the idiots like me. I wasn't dying then, I promise, but you don't know how you help others. And while I'm admitting my own weaknesses in this, I fainted again last Wednesday. Twice in 5 minutes. I didn't go all the way out, pass out. But when you're already geared instinctively, on an instinctual level, only for surviving, taking up the smallest footprint, and you know the fights you cannot face because you're not allowed to fight them. You're not allowed to fight back. You're not allowed to stand up because it makes so many more things worse, and you have to hold yourself under such strict control. You have to treat yourself better than I do. You have to. I was living under an ascetic mentality, not an aesthetic, but an ascetic mentality. That of a starving hermit living off of universe juice or whatever it is. I'm no mystic, I'm no shaman, I'm no wise woman, I'm just me. A very me American. I do my best, but if anyone had been relying on me on Wednesday, I'd have been useless. What I considered to have been eating, I've just started a food journal. Literally, today, just started a food journal. I had 2 slices of bread and apple jam. Now I'd consider those feasts, but writing them down. So if you have trouble eating, even in the Great Depression, they ate better than 2 slices of bread and some jam. Even if it was only rice or adding coffee. Treat yourself better than you think you deserve. And maybe you get close, depending on how stringently you keep it. No one can make you believe that you are worth. But maybe if you listen enough, your own heart or your own mind will start at least not balking at being of worth. I'm going to pause this so I can blow my nose. Apologies for that, because troubles do tend to pile up. Troubles come in threes, I think the saying goes. But try not to wish people to live in interesting times. It is both a blessing and a curse at the same time. Don't starve yourself like I had been. Granted, it had been on accident. But you are worth more than that. You're worth a welcome home soldier feast at least once a week. Or Marine, or Sailor, or Coastie, or Airman, or Sailor. Did I already say Sailor? Not about to say the other word. It's always strikes me odd. You are worth, and you matter. Don't be like me. Be better. Beat me. I can't remember who said it first to me as a poolie. One of the other ones, I'm sure. And if it helped me, I had to pass it on. So when they went to boot camp and it was my turn to help, I'd run my PFT, or half or full or whatever it was. Then as soon as I'd rested enough, I'd get up. I'd go down to the bottom of the hill, and it wasn't a very steep hill, but at the end of it, it felt like you know it's not a mountain, but you don't want to see it at all. You want it flat. But I would go down. I would wait. I'd take a mark. And I'd run them up. And I would tell them, beat me. And if not beat me, then what is it worth to you to succeed in a thing? So I challenge you. What is it worth to you to accomplish that close-held dream of your heart that you never told any or told very few? What is it worth to you to complete? You gave an oath up to including your life, same as me. Don't take it early. You are worth it. You matter. You glorious human being. For all our failings, we remain human. And human we shall be till God's calling. I'll be ready to charge hell. Don't quite feel worthy of guarding heaven, but I'd give it my best shot. But I can charge the enemy better than I can look pretty. Don't die. Not early. Please. Find it in you to beat me and live.